Hi, I'm retired professional triathlete TJ Tollakson, CEO of Diamond Bikes, and I'm with the Crown Prince of Diamond Factory Racing, Chris Schroeder. So Chris, we're talking about getting ready for your gravel race. So we've got 5 tips for you, 5 tips before you do your first gravel race. So the first tip, okay, it's often said in the sport of triathlon that there are 4 disciplines, that it is swim, bike, run, and nutrition. Well, in gravel racing, there are lots of disciplines, but nutrition is probably one of the biggest. And so as much as it is a contest about riding your bike for a long time, it's a contest about eating so you can ride your bike for a really long time. It's not that easy, okay? You can't just say, wow, I haven't done any training to do this, but I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna eat a McDonald's buffet of cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets and barbecue sauce, and I'll get to the finish line. No, you need to plan your nutrition, you need to train with your planned nutrition, and you need to go out there and right from the start, you better have a plan on how many calories you're consuming per hour. You have to practice that over and over and over again. So train your stomach like any other part of your race. So when you're out there, you know exactly what to do. Next tip.
Tires. Tires are the hot freaking topic in gravel right now. You gotta have the right tire. You gotta have the right pressure for each course. And it's stressful for a lot of people, but you gotta know what's out there to get ready. So I would say step 1, know the course that you're racing on. Are you doing some wannabe gravel race like Boulder-Roubaix where you're on beautiful, smooth, hard-packed clay roads where there isn't a rock in sight? Okay, cool, you're doing that one. Go find yourself some nice 32 mil tires, make sure you're on tubeless, you're golden. Now Unbound, that's a stressful one right there. The race is known for killing tires. So if you're doing it, you know, you're gonna want at least some 40 mil Kendas. I highly recommend looking on their website. Getting some tubeless ones is crucial. Understand, if you're on tubes, you're gonna flat, you're gonna hit a rock hard, and you're simply gonna pop it, and then you're gonna end up having to fix multiple flats. Having enough sealant in there is crucial. But at the same time, you need to be able to understand your pressure too, because this is another key to prevent flats. Going out there, talk to your local bike mechanic, talk to your friends, realize the right pressure for you. I believe you even know of a really good calculating tool for pressure.
Right, Silka, Josh Portner, who used to be a head engineer at Zip, now owns Silka. He's got a nice tire pressure calculator, we talked about that. But I'm gonna ask you, Chris, if you're racing in the Boulder-Roubaix, what tire pressure on those smooth roads are you gonna ride?
I'm notoriously for low pressure, but you know, I'm an 80 kilo rider and I still ride 30 PSI on 32s.
Okay.
Because that's the benefit of going tubeless. You can run that lower pressure.
So how about at Unbound with your 40s on?
So at Unbound, I run the Kenda booster 40 mils, and that's another one where I ran 29 in the rear and 27 in the front. I also put a tire insert in there too to ensure that I wasn't bottoming out on those really hard, really rocky double track sections.
Right. So there you have it. Tires are important. The next thing to consider before your first gravel race is to train. Okay, train properly. So if you are training for Unbound's 200-mile race, do you think a 40-mile gravel ride every other day is gonna be enough to cut this?
Sadly not.
No, it's gonna take a lot more. You're gonna have to plan this. You're gonna have to dedicate a couple weekends because the best guys are finishing this ride in 10 hours. So that means the average guy is gonna finish 14, 15, 16 hours. It's like an Ironman on your bike with gravel. And again, 2 aid stations on that one?
Two
aid stations. So you gotta practice this stuff. You're gonna have to become self-reliant. You're gonna have to basically figure out how to pack all this nutrition in, practice that nutrition. You're gonna have to do some extremely long days. Now, do you need to do a 16-hour day to get ready for Unbound? No.
Okay, well, that's a relief.
You don't need to do that, but you need some really long days. And so I would say at a minimum, you're probably gonna need an 8-hour training day if you think it's gonna take you 16 hours to finish this thing. And you're probably gonna need at least 2 of those before you do the race.
So the next thing that we need to talk about is, the gimmicks, the curse of the gravel promoter. Because guys, every single gravel race, they want to stand out, they want to get some headlines, they want to be talked about, and how do they do that? They put something in the race that doesn't belong. We're talking crazy single track, we're talking lots of rivers, we're talking hiking bikes, Guys, if you're signing for inter gravel race, you need to expect something that just doesn't make sense there. And that takes a lot of prep on your part. You need to be ready. So do your homework on the race course. Take a race like BWR Cedar City. There's a 5-mile downhill single track, rocky. So going to that race, you kind of have to think, all right, how do I prepare for this section? So what you're gonna wanna do is go out, practice every day, because then when you reach that point in 80 miles into your gravel race and you're exhausted and hypoxic and you can't see straight, you're still able to survive this section. So definitely prepare for the unexpected. Take your gravel bike on some gnarly adventures that it doesn't belong in, because that's how you're gonna get good at it.
That's great. Ah, yes, the last one. We talked about tires, so your tire choice is really important, but before you do a gravel race, at a bare minimum, know how to change the tires you have, okay? What happens when you get a flat? So, Chris, if you were out there and you had a flat on your tubeless, what would you do to keep going?
Well, first I would call Brittany and have her helicopter in with everything they need to fix, hot cocoa and blankets.
Right. But if you weren't the prince,
if
you weren't the crown prince of the Diamond Factory team, you didn't have access to the helicopter, the company helicopter.
The company helicopter.
What would you do?
Well, the first thing I would do is, because this starts before I even start the race, I put everything I needed in my saddlebag. I had a tube, I had extra sealant, I had...
Wait, you have a tube?
Yeah.
So can you put a tube in a tubeless tire?
You can.
Look at this. Here's dropping some knowledge bombs on you for those who didn't know.
But you can't do it other way around. You can't have a tube set up on your bike and then expect to switch into tubeless midway through the race.
Right.
Now, the thing also that you need to understand is with tubeless is that sometimes you're going to get a gash, sometimes you're going to get a butthole, and you need to be able to patch those. Sometimes your sealant just can't handle it. So you need to bring what's called a dyno plug. It's just a little plug that can get stuck into the hole to kind of help the sealant patch it. Right. And that's something that's absolutely crucial. Carrying all these little things for all these different scenarios is crucial, but it also starts with you knowing how to do it. Now, you've instructed your wife, and she's a brilliant bike wheel fixer.
You're confident in this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Great.
All right. Ready?
Go to the shop if you don't know something. Your local mechanic's gonna always be able to help you, because it's crucial. You might be out there and unbound with a broken chain and a flat tire, and it's on you to fix it. So knowing that stuff is half the battle.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
And my wife, Ashley, the beautiful bike tire fixer, might not be there to rescue you in the Diamond Factory team helicopter. So there you go. Know what you need in your pack. That's it. Those are our 5 things you should know before your first gravel race.
We're out.